Carl Jung said, "The cinema makes it possible to experience without danger all the excitement, passion, and desiredness which must be suppressed in a humanitarian ordering of society." Since its birth, cinema has become one of the most popular forms of entertainment, education, and propaganda. The birth of cinema is one of the most important inventions around the world. It was on the 28th December 1985 that the first public screening of Lumière's Cinematography took place. In the Indian saloon of the Grand Café, 35 curious Parisians bought the 1 franc ticket, becoming the first paying public of the world's cinema history. 10 brief films showed everyday life stories. Among these there was Worker Leaving the Lumière Factory, considered as the first film of cinema history. One of the main pioneers of cinema is undoubtedly Georges Méliès, who is considered the father of the fantastic film genre. French theater director and magician, Méliès soon became the first to use special effects and tricks as cinematic techniques. The most used was that of stopping the camera, changing the scenery, and turning the camera back on. His best-known film, A Trip to the Moon, is considered as the first science fiction movie of the history. The years of the First World War saw the rise of the first Hollywood production companies and the boom of the early motion picture theaters. Films were usually dramatic, but always accompanied by live music and completed with a conclusive comedy. In these years, made his first appearance on the big screen Charlie Spencer Chaplin, who soon became known for the character of Charlotte, whose comedies and satires used to amuse people all around the world and still make us laugh today. In 1972, Chaplin received an honorary award for the incalculable effect he has had in making motion pictures the art form of this century. It was in 1927 that the real breakthrough came, as the Warner Brothers released the first talking picture of the cinema history, The Jazz Singer, directed by Alan Crosland. It was a big success, to the point that by 1930, Hollywood had stopped making silent films. After the cinema's conversion to sound, also color was introduced to cinema. The first successful color process was Technicolor, introduced in 1932. This process required a very expensive camera, through which 3 strips of the film ran simultaneously, each emphasizing a different color of the spectrum. The first Technicolor film produced was Becky Sharp by Robert Mamilian. In Italy, the fall of Mussolini and the end of the Second World War fostered the birth of neorealism. Its main characteristics are that of shooting film with few means and a lot of improvisation, representing everyday life, stressing social themes, and employing non-professional actors. The film manifesto of Italian neorealism was 1945 Rome Open City by Rossellini. Although masterpieces as Paisan by Rossellini and De Sica's The Bicycle Thieves and Shoeshine remain influential contributions to international film language. After a while, the decade described as the golden age of Italian cinema prospered. The so-called Italian-style comedy, whose founding father is said to be Mario Monicelli, especially depended upon exceptional actors and actresses, such as Vittorio Gassman, Marcello Mastroianni, Ugo Tognazzi, Alberto Sordi, Sofia Loren, Monica Vitti, who well embodied virtues and bad habits of Italian people. It was during the 80s and 90s that cinema underwent radical transformation. The era was characterized by the introduction of high-concept films, films which fuses star power with easy cinematic plots and special effects. Among the historic films of this era, we have to mention E.T. the Extraterrestrial and Jurassic Park by Steven Spielberg and Star Wars by George Lucas. This was also the era in which Giuseppe Tornatore won the Oscar for Best Foreign Film with his Nuovo Cinema Paradiso. Federico Fellini won the Academy Lifetime Achievement Award, and Roberto Benigni won 3 Oscars for his Life is Beautiful. It is the new millennium which has finally seen another movie revolution, the explosion of 3D entertainment technology. It was with the release of James Cameron's 3D film Avatar in 2009 that displaying three-dimensional films in movie theaters gained in popularity throughout the world. Although it was not the first time cinema experienced 3D movies. It was in September 1922 that the first 3D movie, The Power of Love, was shown to a paying audience in Los Angeles. Unfortunately, the film did not achieve wide release and has since been lost. The basis for modern stereoscopic projection technology is that a separate left and right image are displayed together on the screen. That is why 3D images looks doubled without 3D glasses. It is the 3D glasses' job to separate those images. The special 3D screen recognizes the two images and reflects the left and the right image back to your left and right eye. But what really represents the cornerstone of my university studies is the film translation and the linguistic aspect of cinema. For this reason, through the analysis of a number of films, I will show the main translation difficulties in this field. One of the many memorable, humorous moments includes the wordplay used when Hinga is scared of wolves and lightning. The adapter did a really good job and brilliantly solved the adaptation problem, turning werewolf into lupu ulala and creating a nice wordplay with hulala and hululi. This change had the aim of creating a more familiar and understandable wordplay for the Italian audience, and is even better than the English version. The scene which is going to be analyzed takes place in the cinema, when Colonel Hans Landa meets the group of bastards who are pretending to be Italian. The problem is that comparing the two versions, it is clear that the Italian dubbing of the film made significant changes, and instead of focusing on the fact that Colonel Landa found out the bastard's fake provenance, the Italian dubbing adds information regarding the southern origin of the characters. On the contrary, the English version was undoubtedly funnier, with Brad Pitt, who clearly cannot speak Italian, only answering yes or no. In the most famous scene of the film, where Johnny hacks the bathroom door with an axe, he screams the famous line, "Here's Johnny," which is a reference to the 1955 Johnny Carson show, The Tonight Show. It is obvious that a literal translation of the line would have been useless, because nobody in Italy would have understood the reference. In fact, in the Italian dubbed version, both the line and the reference were changed. By saying "sono il lupo cattivo," Jack Nicholson refers to the Little Red Riding Hood tale, that is undoubtedly more famous in Italy.